You're watching MOBO TV right now. My name is Annabel and I am joined by the legend behind Bossman Birdie's Walk the Walk video. It's Luke Davies. How's it going?
Very well, thank you. I think legend's a bit of a strong start, but...
I don't know, you've done a very, very good job with that one. It's obviously up for Best Video this year at the MOBO Awards. How does it feel to be such a huge part of that?
Very exciting, very exciting. Like it's been quite a good year for me, to be honest. But when I heard the MOBOs, a friend texted me and just said congratulations on the video. And there's an awards called Kinsale Sharks, which happened a few weeks before, and I just thought they were talking about that and just thought, oh, thanks mate, really appreciate it. And then another friend said it again, and I had like 4 or 5 texts on. I was like, what the fuck's just happened? Something just big just happened. And then someone just texted me going, MOBOs, and I was literally, I was buzzing. So
you didn't find out from MOBOs then?
No, I didn't actually. I never actually heard from MOBOs at all. Actually, no, I did eventually, but I think it was through, like, are you just coming to the events? There was no, like, or maybe I'm bad with my email, but it was mainly through friends saying well done, and then eventually someone just said MOBOs, and I was like, what, MOBOs? And then I was literally on my phone, and also my name was the first one up there, and I love all the other artists. Bossy's great as well, but all the other artists and directors I'm a massive fan of them, but when your name is first up, you're like, what? But yeah, it's good.
It's very well deserved. The video is just crazy. The concept, the editing, everything. I really want you to rewind all the way back to the very, very beginning. How did it come about?
I actually had the concept maybe half a year or something before. Like, I like conceptual videos, so a lot of the time, if you think of a concept when you see the video, sometimes it can be a bit too on the nose, and it's like, let's say it was a concept to do with walking the walk. It's a bit like, okay, we get it, mate, walk the walk, yeah. So I always think occasionally of concepts, and that was one I loved, like the magazine titles. But obviously it required something really specific in a song. It had to be tongue-in-cheek, so it had to be a fucking big, ballsy, confident-ass song. But also it had to come from an artist who had a bit of a playful side to him as well. So when I heard the track, I played it, and literally 10 seconds in I paused it and go, please let this be this one. Please let this be with this one. And then I pitched it to Bossy, and I think they were a bit hesitant at first, and I came in and did the whole meeting spiel with him and all his team, but they all really vibed off it, and straight from the off as well, Bossy was just like getting so behind it and throwing out ideas for different titles, and it doesn't really work, this idea, unless you go for it 100%. Like, it needed the Jesus Christ one, it needed the him in the Monopoly, like it couldn't just be him as Jay-Z and Ebony and him as Kendrick Lamar. He had to do some of the ones which were a bit different, but he was so up for doing all of them.
Wow, that's it's very interesting to know that you had the concept before the song came about, and then you thought, this is the one for that. That's cool. So how long did it take to film it, and how long did it take to edit it?
The filming was just a day. It was a tight fucking day. But to be honest, all low budget music videos, like, everyone's got their chaotic stories, so like that was to be expected. My DP, this guy Murren, who's fucking brilliant. So think about it, for one of those magazine shots, you'd normally have a day to do like a magazine shot and a lighting setup with a background and all the production design or whatever. And we had 10 of those to do, plus then all the performances with Bossy and all his crew. So it was crazy. We had he was doing 20-minute setups for these things. It was like, he was a joke. And then Bossy was also just so, like, it was mad, but I think you kind of get better stuff when you have that kind of energy on set. Like, you don't have any time to wait around, so no one's fucking bored. And the editor actually had to come on set. So the editor was there, we would do everything, and then I would go straight over to him and say, does it work, does it work, does it work? Because also we wouldn't film the whole video, we had the whole thing planned out first, so we knew exactly which 1 or 2 lines would be for which part of the magazine. So we had it all set up, so we knew exactly what we were doing. And then Jake Armstrong is my editor, again, banging. I think he had something done, like, he had a first cut like 2 days later. And because most of the stuff was set, it didn't change a lot. So it was a quick turnaround, and then we had some just small notes and switching things up. But it wasn't a stressful edit job, to be honest. He did it super fast. Like, literally, I think I left the set, and Jake calls me and goes, come look at this, and I saw maybe 70% of what you see on the things. He was just straight in there, and everyone was just gathered around him the whole time looking. I was like, guys, leave it.
That is very, very impressive. So something that plays a huge part in it is the lighting, which our lovely cameraman pointed out over here. What goes into that? What sort of work? Like, because there'll be a shot where it's sort of from a distance, and then suddenly it zooms in and the whole lighting changes on him.
The performances, we I wanted, one of my first references that I showed to the DP Murren is, I knew we wouldn't have a lot of time, and so we wanted to use just a white invisible backdrop, but it kind of gets a bit dull when you're at that the whole time, so I was saying let's just fade up the front light up and down so it goes from silhouette to heavy lighting. And then we had a desktop who's just controlling all the lighting switches, and normally I'm meant to give a desktop some cues, but I can't remember his name, that's so awful, but he was just sort of feeling it. Like, we said at first, do it on these notes, and then he was just over there in the corner like a fucking DJ, just like feeling the beat, switching it up, going all on, but he did it fucking well. And then the magazine titles, so all the magazines were based on real magazine titles, and so I sat down and showed them, and then my DP Murren would go, okay, so that's this, and then we had to shoot them. They were all pretty much one backdrop and 3 lights, so there was nothing too complicated. It was just the fact we had to do so many, and the scheduling, we had to do it really back to front, because any lighting setups which were kind of similar we grouped together. But to be honest, I don't know how much about lighting. My DP is a fucking guru. I showed him and he made it happen.
So how many people would you say were on the production team altogether?
When we shot, including all Bossy's like gang them extras and stuff, there was probably like 50 people on set, but he had like 20 of those, so we had a lot of people. Maybe from just the filmmaking side, probably 20, 25.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey with production. How did you first dabble in it? How did you come to realise that that's what you really wanted to go for in life?
How did I first... Well, I was a big... I should not be saying this in an interview. I was a big Action Man advocate, so before I knew what anything was, I was like doing little stories with my little figures and shit, and then I got a camera and would persuade my brothers and sisters, like the usual stuff, and friends to do it. And then I went to New York to a film school out there with a friend of mine who wanted to be a producer, and we didn't have a clue what we were doing, but he had the idea of, let's go and get the best DP at the school and just make him shoot our short film, just convince him to do it. So it wasn't a great film, but it looked amazing, so it kind of separated us, gave us a bit of confidence. And then I went back here, didn't go to university, went to film school, and then my graduation project was a short film which did quite well on the festival circuit, and I won a Cannes Young Director Award for, which got me signed, and then one thing leads to another.
Wow. And when was it that you kind of delved further into the music industry? And is that something that you want to focus on more than film stuff, for example, or do you want a balance of both?
Yeah, I'd say a balance of both. There's something so fun about music videos because it's just so quick and so much instant, and also you can do so many things you could just never get away with in longer form stuff. I do love, to be honest, I don't really have a style or like my voice is literally just, I want to make stuff which I can show my friends, not film school friends, but like just normal friends who go, yeah, that's sick. I just want to entertain people, so whatever that medium is, let's be it. I
love that. And in terms of more of the struggle, what kind of obstacles have you faced in your journey so far as a director?
What obstacles haven't you faced? At the beginning of the year, I won't say who, but there was this track I desperately wanted to produce, do a video for, and it ended up that I could only do that video if I made another 2 videos for the same artist before, and they wanted me to do it all for 5k, and I was like, I so badly want to do this song, and ended up making 2 of the videos, so I got the shot to do the video I wanted, and then they canned them both and didn't let me do the third one. So it was like, and I'd been working, obviously when you don't have much money, the commodity you do have is time, so you put a lot of time and effort. So when you're always making a little game plan, going, what am I going to do, what's my next step, and when you spend like 3-4 months going, okay, I'm going to do these, do that, then this, and it all just goes down the drain, that's obviously gutting. And so many I've got quite pushy parents, and they're both somewhat related in the industry. So the first time I ever said to my mum I want to be a director, and I showed her my first film with my brothers and my sisters, she denies this, but she was just rinsed and was just like, look, I appreciate what you're doing and stuff, but like the acting's not very good, the production value sucks, like all this stuff, which at first I was a little bit shocked, but really it's done me so many favours, because it's like when you know at least the people close to you are telling you the truth.
Tough love.
Yeah, I'm not sure she's like the bossy one too much either. She's not that into grime.
So what advice would you give to aspiring directors in the game?
Fuck, I'm still asking people for advice. I am an aspiring director. I would say something you hear a lot is shoot as much as you can. I don't really agree with that. Anyone can shoot stuff now. It's so easy to shoot and it's great practice and you do learn shooting. But if you're going to make an impact, you kind of have to wait and think a bit more about it. You don't just shoot every fucking thing. Think, wait for the right project, and when you do make something, make sure it's really good, because otherwise it just gets lost in the crowd. So I would say don't go out and shoot every single day, but wait and be a bit more strategic about things.
Quality over quantity then. So finally, what is next for Luke Davies?
I'm going back into narrative for a bit. I've got a film I'm making in LA in January, just a short film called He Fucked Your Wife, which is just like 4 or 5 minutes, dark comedy. So I'll do that, and then I want to come back and focus on music videos.
Well, we look forward to that, and this new project of yours sounds very intriguing. Best of luck with the award at MOBOs, and we shall see you there.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Cheers.